Today, Jedd Fisch spoke with the media about quarterback Gunner Cruz being ready to return to his starting role. So what are the differences between Cruz and Jordan McLeod? Jedd Fisch breaks it down.
Yeah, well, the first thing is he certainly is back to embracing being the starting quarterback. I think sometimes you wind up, it's easier to kind of like phase away when you're not the starting quarterback, or you feel like you've been demoted and you kind of hang back. He's reestablished his personality, his confidence in terms of in the huddle is very critical, and the way he's really talked and the way he's approached the game in terms of preparation has been very good. He's thrown the ball extremely well, which we know that he can. He can certainly has the ability to stretch the field. So he's done a nice job there. But, our goal would be to make sure that we keep him comfortable, and we don't want to be in a situation where, he feels as if he has to win the game himself. That's not what you're looking for. And I think Jordan, similarly, after the turnover game he had against Oregon, we kind of wanted him not to feel like he had to win the game himself either.
Jordan and Gunner are kind of two different style quarterbacks. Do you change the offense at all with Gunner back in there, or did you change it when Jordan was in there to fit their skills?
I think that there are certain things that you can't do with one versus the other, that you avoid to do. Let's say you avoid asking one guy to not play in their strengths. Jordan is a great, I would say a very good ball distributor, kind of like a point guard. That's kind of what you are looking for, when you're developing that quarterback position. Gunner's more of a big, strong, kind of downfield passer, and so what we've got to work on is making sure that we're able to do it all, and be able to continue to develop Gunner, but understand Jordan's just going to play it a little differently. He's also been doing it for a little longer, so he has had a little bit more of a knack. Gunner, we're going to have to continue to develop and continue to help feel comfortable back there.
And then how do you go about replicating kind of the success Gunner had against BYU going forward?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I'm hopeful that he'll replicate it. That it doesn't have to come from us per se. I think that he played a really good football game against BYU, and the San Diego State game. He played 6 football plays, and we were down 21-0. So when he came off the field after the 6th play of the game, it was 21-0. And I think when you go back in on the 7th play of the game, knowing it's 21-0, your mindset's a little bit off. And I think you start feeling like you got to press. You got to score a 21-point touchdown. And then the next drive, he went out there and we completed the ball to Stanley, and it was 21-7. And then it was 28-7. And then we were never able to get into a rhythm. And I think Gunner always felt he was playing behind the 8 ball. So if we could play a more normal football game, although BYU is 21-3 at halftime, I think that we were able to get the momentum of the safety, the momentum of the short field, the momentum of the touchdown. I hope if we can play a more balanced football game, run the football better than we did against those two teams, that would help us for sure.
Is the ability for a quarterback to see the field, is it more instinctual or an innate ability, or can quarterbacks really learn how to do that and be able to make your progressions down? And I think you know what I'm getting at.
Yeah, I do. I think that I think part of it is innate. Part of it is you're able to bring your blood pressure down, bring your heart rate down, and kind of just have vision, have wide field vision. They always say see a lot, see a little, see nothing, right? Or see a little, see a lot, see nothing. And, the biggest thing with that is, if you're a quarterback and you kind of can see right here and you get a good feel for it, you can see as much. If you start trying to see everything, it just all kind of runs together. And I think one of the issues with him is that sometimes when you're trying to see everything, it just kind of looks like there's 22 guys just running. So if we could kind of focus his vision down a little bit, and really help him understand, 2/3 of the field is plenty. That'll give you enough read. But I would say that I do think you can get it through repetition.
The Buffs enter Saturday's game with only 1 win this season, but they were successful against the Wildcats last year. Fisch definitely has his concerns about their explosive offense.
They have the Pac-12 Player of the Year from last year at running back, and They ran for 407 yards against Arizona a year ago. And we just let up 300 yards rushing. So I would assume that they're going to try to go back to giving the ball to Broussard and give him a chance. They have a quarterback who could run. They have a quarterback who I saw him break a long one against A&M. So we have to be ready for the fact that they're going to use their running game to their advantage. They're going to try to get us in, gap integrity issues. We worked very hard this past week to continue to get better in that regard. We all know it's explosive runs, right? That's what it all comes down to. If you eliminate explosive runs, you run for about 140 yards a game. If you get explosive runs, you could run for 2.25 a game. We haven't gotten many explosive runs, so we're living at about that 130-yard a game, other than Oregon. We got some explosive runs. I would say the other part is your quarterback has to be able to get you 50 yards. Their quarterback got them 50, can get them 50 yards. So I would expect that. I think that they're probably better in the passing game than they've shown. I think they got some talented guys at the skill positions that we've got to be ready for. And I think that they probably will try to, throw some balls up on the corners and see what that looks like. Defensively, I would expect them to be very sound and very good. I think that, I think they're a little different than us offensively. I think offensively, really, we've played very well, except for the fact that we haven't scored points in the red area. We've been able to move the ball kind of the last 3 or 4 weeks pretty at will in a lot of ways. But defensively, I would say that they're in a situation where they're very good. They got a really, really good Mike linebacker, who I think is probably one of the best we've played. I think that they have 2 good edge rushers that have great length. And I know their DB coach. I know both their DB coaches. And Brett Maxey's been in the NFL forever, and Demetrius Martin has been in the Pac-12 forever. And those guys are going to play like tough and physical in-your-face defense. So I would expect a very similar defensive approach to the way we play. A lot of press man coverage, a lot of physicality involved, and they expect their linebackers to make a lot of tackles. Chris Wilson, their defensive coordinator, I coached his son at UCLA, so I've known him for a while as well.